Welcome to YYZ Video, your film book club of choice. This is Press YYZ's bi-weekly, sometimes, movie review show where we take a film series, starting with Pixar, and we're ranking them. You can watch the show on youtube.com/PressYYZ or listen on your own time on your podcast service of choice. Before we get started, remember, as always, to be good to each other. Discrimination of any kind, be it over one's race, gender, sexual orientation, or anything else, is wrong, and we will not tolerate this within our community. I'm your host with the most, Mr. Mitch George, joined as always by the man with all the hand gestures, Nicholas Blaine. The man full of hot takes who makes so many mistakes, Mr. TJ Beckham.
Howdy.
And our multi-award winning film student, Mr. Alex Ballant.
Happiness is what we sell. That's why everyone loves BNL.
BNL, you say? That is because today we are talking all about WALL-E.
Sorry.
Do we want to get into what we thought, or you want me to go do the rundown, the rigmarole of the film and all that jazz? What do you guys prefer?
Let's do the rundown
Give me
first.
the roll.
Yeah.
All right, the rigmarole. As always, this film was directed and co-written by Andrew Stanton, the director behind both Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, with a story by Stanton and Pete Docter, co-written by Jim Reardon. So Pete Docter is credited with story. He gets a story credit. He only worked on the movie for about 2 months. After about 2 months, he decided to work on another project. That project turned into Monsters Incorporated, which he directed. The film is also dedicated to Justin Wright, a 27-year-old Pixar animator who tragically died of a heart attack. He was born with congenital heart defects and received a heart transplant at the age of 12. A year after the transplant, he was a recipient of a wish with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and his wish was to go to Disney World. At Disney World, he was able to take a tour of their animation studios. This cemented his love for animation and storytelling. His credits include the line drawings at the end of the film Ratatouille, storyboards on WALL-E, and the short film Presto, which accompanied WALL-E both theatrically and with its home video release. Tragically, on the evening of March 18th, 2008, Wright collapsed at Pixar offices and died instantly of a heart attack, just 10 days shy of his 10 days after, his 27th birthday.
Makes it so much more sad.
Yeah, sorry to be a downer. This is Pixar's first animated film that also includes segments of live action characters, and was released in the United States on June 27th, 2008. Film was, as with all Pixar films, critically praised for animation, story, voice acting, characters, visuals, score, its minimalistic use of dialogue, and its romantic scenes. The film was a commercial success, grossing over $500 million worldwide on a $180 million budget. It won the 2008 Golden Globe for Best Animated Feature, the 2009 Hugo Award for Best Long-Form Dramatic Presentation, and the final Nebula Award for Best Script, the Saturn Award for Best Animated Film, and the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature with 5 additional nominations. At the Oscars, it was also nominated for Best Writing, for an original screenplay, which it lost to the film Milk, Best Achievement in Music Written for Motion Pictures, Original Score, which it lost. WALL-E picked the worst year to come out, because in any other year it would have won these things. It lost to Slumdog Millionaire for score. Original Song, Down to Earth by Peter Gabriel, lost to Jai Ho from Slumdog Millionaire. Sound mixing,
Pussycat Dolls.
Sound mixing also lost to Slumdog Millionaire, and sound editing it lost to Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight.
Never heard of it.
No. Many critics also talk about WALL-E as one of the best films of 2008. It topped Time's list of best movies of the decade, and in 2016 was voted 29th among 100 films considered the best of the 21st century by 117 film critics around the world. WALL-E's a hell of a movie. Yep. The cast of WALL-E is a little interesting because, as we said, it very much focused on nonverbal storytelling. Ben Burt stars as WALL-E, also known as the Waste Allocation Load Lifter Earth Class, the titular character. A compactor robot, I can't get into droids, not quite yet. A compactor robot who has achieved sentience. He's the only one of his kind shown to still be functioning on Earth. He is a small compactor box with all-terrain treads, three-fingered shovel hands, binocular eyes, and retractable solar cells, which he uses to recharge himself. Ben Burtt is best known for providing sound effects and editing for the Skywalker saga of films in the Star Wars universe. He also voiced Mo, the microbe obliterator, also known as the little trash guy who's cleaning up after Wally in the movie. Truth be told, that Ben Burtt had just completed work on Revenge of the Sith in 2005 and told his wife he would never work on another film that involved robots. He changed his mind immediately when Pixar talked him through the idea of Wall-E, which he found fresh and exciting. Almost all of the robots in the film are voiced by Burtt through mechanical sounds which he created. He recorded over 2,500 different sounds for the movie, twice the average of any of the Star Wars films he'd worked on previously. He worked on this movie for 2 years. When Stanton met with Burtt to pitch the idea of the movie, he told him that he needed him to be about 80% of the cast of the movie. And by golly, did he deliver.
He delivered.
Alyssa Knight stars as Eve, also known as the extraterrestrial vegetation evaluator, which is hilariously mispronounced by both Wally and Mo, who's a sleek, very cutting-edge, modern-looking robot designed by Johnny Ive, who famously was the creative something or other. He was like the head of product design at Apple for a number of years, and that absolutely shines through in the design of Eve.
That makes sense. Eve does look like an Apple product.
Do you like the movie still, TJ?
Yeah, I mean, Pixar came from jobs like sometimes bad people do good things. Can't say the same for Apple, but
not the last Apple Easter egg we'll find in this movie. Alyssa Knight, who provided the voice of Eve, is not actually a trained voice actress, but an employee of Pixar. We have Jeff Garlin portraying Captain McCrae, the captain of the Axiom Star Cruiser. But we only see his name on the portraits we see on the wall. In the credits, he's just known as the captain. Fred Willard, here as the first live-action actor in a Pixar film, playing Shelby Fortright, the CEO of the By and Large Corporation. Macintalk, the text-to-speech program for Apple Macintosh computers, was the voice of Otto, the autopilot on the ship.
It's scary. It's fucking scary.
The two other humans were kind of introduced to throughout the film, John and Mary, on the cruise liner, voiced by, famously, for doing voices in every Pixar film, John Ratzenberger, and Kathy Najimy. If you're not familiar with her work, she played Mary in Hocus Pocus.
Oh.
And Peggy Hill in King of the Hill.
Oh, wow! That's a bigger one!
Too.
That's a bigger one!
That one!
No, I think it's like a bigger one because it's like, oh, she played. I think it's both because she played. She played in Hocus Pocus. Oh, you should watch Hocus Pocus. But the connection between Hocus Pocus to King of the Hill, what? Anyways.
Finally, voicing the Axiom's computer, Sigourney Weaver.
I was gonna say I knew that one. I was very excited about that one.
When Stanton cast her in the role, he had a conversation with her basically saying, you realize you get to be mother now, right? Referring to the name of the ship's computer in the film Alien, which also famously starred Sigourney Weaver. With that being said, I know we all have a lot to say about this movie, but before we get into that, we have our conspiracy corner. We have the portrayer of all things Pixar. We have my wife, Carmen George, presenting Carmy's Corner.
Carmy's Corner. Back from a couple weeks of hiatus. Back to Carmy's Corner. But now they do.
Welcome, Silent Bob, to YYZ video.
Oh my god, yes! Yes! The hat.
Lord.
The hat does it.
It's the hat.
Yeah.
It's the hat. I was like, I wonder how long Nick's hair is compared to mine. I'm like, let me see this.
It's definitely longer. It's probably the longest my hair has ever been. Also the greenest. Oh man, it's weird.
Right. Yeah, conspiracies.
Oh, sorry. Let me go into my phone here.
While you're doing that.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I thought you were just needing to load it up.
Oh no, it's okay. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Well, I was gonna say Mitch left out that the voice actress for Eve Also, one of the twins in Cars. You know, the two Lightning McQueen fans.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Very important note.
Okay.
Mm.
That's cool.
No, it's
Okay.
not.
Seriously. Okay, so there's only one, I guess. Cool, not really cool. It's kind of disturbing kind of thing that we found on the internet today, and as in me and Mitch, because it was really hard to find a conspiracy for Wall-E. Yes, you helped. Great. So the Pixar theory this week is the unseen cannibalism in Wall-E. So, in the beginning of the movie, we are welcomed to a whole bunch of dead Wall-Es that are no longer working, and Wall-E's been collecting their parts.
Oh, I mean, do we? Is he eating them? Is that a thing? Like, is he eating trash?
I don't know. Do you think that is he eating the trash?
Like, I mean, at the very least, he's like taking care of them.
Repurposing it.
Yeah. Maybe
Like, is it cannibalism to like take a dead person's liver? Like,
I mean, you don't. They don't
Yeah.
end up
It's a transplant.
repurposing. They don't.
Listen,
well, I guess
was
they
trying
do
to
end
tell
up.
that to the police.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm definitely thinking he's like.
no, like he takes the eye or like the
Yeah.
treads, and
Yeah, he's got.
He's
like,
becoming
a
better.
little-
He's becoming stronger. He's becoming faster.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what Mitch was saying. He needs to stop eating the jalapeno Cheetos, though.
So good.
Yeah, but no, that's the only one that we found. It was a good movie though. It was cute. So, it's the first time I've ever seen it too. So it was good. I'm not looking forward to next week's.
What is,
Next week's
yeah,
episode.
next week's gonna
Oh,
be.
God.
We're not.
I'm
gonna,
not looking.
We're
forward
gonna
to
do
it.
the that shall not be named. The movie that
yeah,
shall not be
that movie
named. Yeah.
gonna
But yeah.
go down.
There's gonna be
Was
a
it-
lot of.
you guys like it? Oh, of course, it's TJ's favorite. But
Are we getting? Like, Alex, were you about to do a callback to the trailer of this podcast?
Wait, there's a trailer
You
for this
know.
podcast?
Yeah.
There might be
Oh, yeah.
some ups and downs.
Whoa!
The iconic line.
Whoa! We're bringing it together. This is what we do. We form the
Full
Cinematic
circle.
Universe podcast that we have
The
right
Y-
here before you. The YYZ video podcast. Will we collide with Press YYZ? Probably not. But you know what? We're doing it. We're out here innovating.
This is gonna be in a couple weeks when it's Remy versus Wall-E.
I mean, it's Remy versus Wally now, I feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
say it could very well be
Let them
better.
fight.
Very
Let them fight.
I'm a beautiful
I'm a beautiful butterfly!
It's a beautiful butterfly.
I'm so excited for the last episode of this.
Oh,
I am not.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, okay, and then we'll get back to the podcast
Yeah,
proper.
sorry.
No, you're good.
Sorry, everybody.
But the thing is, like, when we get to the end, and I don't know if we've ever said publicly what we're doing, but when we get to the end, this list is so fucked up, it's not even gonna matter. It's not even gonna matter.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
there's gonna be little
gonna be
bandages.
chaos.
There's gonna be little bandages.
Yeah.
For some
Some
of us.
friendships might be ruined after this.
I was
but-
about to fucking say it. Well, I mean, they're already ruined. Let's.
I
be
mean, yeah.
Today's gonna be the ultimate test.
Today's gonna be the ultimate test. Oh lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today-
Well, anyways, get back to your podcast.
Calm
That's
is.
it, and then I'll see you guys next week. Woo!
Oh, that's
Mommy.
another edition of Comics Corner, Comics Corner. Didn't think about the hiatus stuff, but here we are. It's Comics Corner.
All right, so Carmen started getting into it. She mentioned what she felt about the movie, but I wanted to know what the rest of y'all felt about the movie, except TJ, because we already know he won't shut up about this damn movie. Alex,
Uh huh.
how'd you like Wall-E?
So I remembered I haven't seen this movie since 2008, when it first came out. So I remember thoroughly enjoying it quite a bit, but for some reason in my brain I was like, why did I never revisit Wall-E? I really enjoyed it. And the first like 20 minutes of this movie is such a work of art. It is so incredible, the way that they do storytelling without having any characters talking is great, and just the environmental storytelling and just like really, I think it was a very ballsy move to like in 2008 have this message of like just the scenic imagery of this like just essentially ruined Earth. I thought it was really incredible. Then you go to space, and then the movie takes a nosedive down. It is not as good once it goes into space. And really, like, I feel like it is missing a lot of the Pixar charm to it a lot. I don't know. I didn't vibe with it as much as I thought I was going to after that moment when, yeah, like where the kind of plot takes over. I did enjoy it still. It just was kind of I was just a little surprised at like I didn't like every time that we finished one of these movies afterwards, I've thought about the movie more and like I've like grown a new appreciation for a lot of these. Wally was like I continue to grow an appreciation for the first 20 minutes and then kind of the rest of it is just good. Like I can't say this is a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination because it's not, but it's just not. I don't think it's one of Pixar's all-stars.
You made him say.
As he should. Nick, how'd you feel about Wally?
All right, so I have a story. Back the year was 2008. This kid was an 8th grader, and should he have probably have been, like obsessed with this movie as much as he should be? Probably not. Probably not. And let me tell you, my mom, little Mama Nikki Blaine over there, went to every single store we could find to find a t-shirt, to find an MP3 player, to find anything Wally-related merchandise. I was obsessed with Wally. Wally was, like, by and large, my, no pun intended, my favorite Pixar movie at the time, like, 100%. And I had rewatched it, countless times when I was a kid, and I haven't, like, really gone back to it since. While I do think, I think the thing that is missing from this that I think people don't like aren't used to is the fact that I think very much this has Pixar charm 100%, and that is what it has in spades, but I don't think it has the message necessarily or exactly a forward facing message. Like, you had Ratatouille with kind of building yourself and trying to overcome adversity and all that. You have Incredibles and the family dynamic and trying to build that world and all that, and you have Toy Story with learning to compromise. Whereas this movie, like, there's not really that message, outwardly. I mean, sure, you could get into like socio-political sort of stuff, but besides that, there's not really a message. It's a love story, though. Like, I think this is by far the most attributed to so many different genres of film, so many different aspects of storytelling that has just been put in. And I think that doesn't necessarily hold that same Pixar like narrative, it definitely holds a charm. Like, I am absolutely charmed by Eve's and Wally's dynamic. Like, there is 100%. Like, my heart starts racing. Like, I just love it. I love how cute it is. I love how much they love each other, and the fact that like the visuals of this film I think are breathtaking, and of course like melding the silent film, the musical, the charm of a musical, the kind of like mystery of a 70s sci-fi film. Like, I mean, there's so many references to 2001: A Space Odyssey. Even in Bernie, the short that not accompanies this film but is like on the DVD, like it literally does 2001: A Space Odyssey, where with like the visuals, and like there's so much to love about this film. I think like you can make a point for anywhere on this list, and I think there's a lot of films like that in this in Pixar. So, but anyways, that's just kind of my base thoughts. I'm gonna pass it over to the one, the only. I know he loves this film, TJ.
I mean, I'm gonna take over in the meantime and just say, is anyone else as worried as I am about how quickly these robots gain sentience?
No.
Like, Eve over the course of the movie is now self-aware, and that's not good.
I mean, yeah. The thing is, like, I think some of the robots, like, especially like without getting into super spoilers before we get into the film, like if you are watching this episode of this show, prefacing it with the fact that it is spoiler heavy,
Go watch the movie and then come
Definitely
back.
go watch the movie.
Next day, what you going to say?
This is great.
Go
So
watch us.
with the prime directive of Otto, it is not a sentience thing. It is the directive of you cannot come back to Earth. You cannot, like, even if we find something, you cannot come back to Earth. We are a corporation and we fucked up. Like, this is, I mean, as somebody who lives in Michigan and many things like that have happened, I get like it's a corporation just like, all right, well, we're just gonna live in space now, and for 700 years, like, yeah, I think that's the going back to the sentience thing. I think like part of it is like sure sentience, but part of it is like I think the message of this is breaking free from conventional norms, breaking free from the path that, like, quite literally, there are paths that people and the robots follow, and there's like symbolism behind that of, you know, Mo jumping off the track and all that. And I think like that's kind of the other message of this, while also having just this unbelievably cute and lovable story between Wally and Eve. But anyways,
All right, TJ, I delayed as long as I could. Fucking gush about it already.
Hey, Nick. It's Wally. They put bugs in him. Or I should say bug, but still.
I mean, I wasn't in him, but he was on him for sure.
He was in him for a
No,
bit.
he crawled inside of him.
crawls inside of
Oh,
him,
that's
yeah.
true. I forgot about that.
He
'Cause
went
he
in
does-
him. That bug penetrated.
Okay, this is gonna be this kind of podcast.
So as I was gonna say though, Wally, like, if you're watching the video podcast or ever talk to me on a video call, space is a huge thing of mine. I've got an Apollo 11 rocket in the background, the International Space Station.
He doesn't have an actual
To
rocket
me-
or an actual space station. They
He
are
doesn't
made of
either.
Legos just to make us.
Okay,
Yes,
first
we're
and
clear.
foremost, how do you not know? Okay,
And-
I have a shrink ray. That is actually the Apollo 11.
And they're real to him,
Making
goddammit.
known for our listeners, our audio listeners that we love very much.
Okay, listen here, Ant. You one audio listener.
Yeah, fuck you, Ant.
We put bugs in him.
But
Stop.
so space to me, it is beautiful, it is terrifying, it levels me out. It is the one constant that it makes it realize that the world is endless, and also you're so insignificant in the grand scheme that it kind of makes me realize, like, my problems aren't as much as they. I love space for that. And when I was little and Wally was coming out, not only did it look adorable, I still remember seeing the trailers where it's the shopping cart scene where he's being chased by a horde of shopping cart. But this movie made me tear up multiple times. Specifically, at one point when he's on Eve's ship going to the Axiom and they're flying through space. And even if that's not how space works, with him putting his hand up and touching the ring and it making swirls, it's still like, it just made me emotional. This movie is just so good in every aspect. I know we say it every fucking time, but the animation on this is jaw dropping. The characters, the fact that without like a word being spoken, Wally is the best Pixar character to appear on screen so far. And they show, like, they build his character with so little words. The fact, like, he's carrying around this cooler, the fact that he's singing along and using a trash can, like, it shows just his level of sentient and like who he is without speaking, without that ability. And even his friend the cockroach, which I don't think they ever name.
No, there's a name. Let me find it while you continue.
So, like, Wally is, again, one of the best Pixar characters. And I know we're going forward, but the relationship built between Wally and Eve in these first 20 minutes, better than fucking up. Fight me. Fucking fight.
We're going to.
All right, let's
We're going to
throw
fight
down.
over this.
So
I'm not looking forward to that episode.
TJ,
but it's
have you ever thought
all
of
the
not
characters-
fighting
Hal.
people?
The name of the
No, not
cockroach
once.
is Hal.
Wait, okay.
Named after
Okay.
Another 2001: A
2001:
Space Odyssey reference.
100%.
It's there.
That's
It's
amazing.
there.
But I do agree that once they leave Earth, there is a slight dip in quality.
Yeah.
But it is still like the amazement, the bewilderment of, like, not only one seeing the ship, but also what it's done to humanity. I mean, fuck, like being floating around in chairs and drinking slushies all the time. Who'd have thunk that made you fat motherfucker? I wouldn't have guessed. But like it's just everything in this film just causes wonder and is it cute, exciting, fun. Like even at the end when fucking spoilers, when Wally gets crushed and he doesn't remember, like I was at the edge of tears there. Like I cannot think anything about this movie that I would change, except that I would just want them to do it again with today's technology, just to see how much more beautiful they can make it.
I honestly think
they did, right? This has been up-resed for 4K. At least I watched it on Disney Plus. It was in 4K.
I did.
And it's absolutely so jaw-dropping, dude. The darks are like the blacks are so like it's just the way they portray space. I've never seen something like that done in animation before.
Well, and there's a reason too with like when we'd get like the DVD copies of the different Disney movies or Pixar movies. There's a reason that this was in every single scissor reel. Like that the part where he's touching the little rocks, like that is like on every single scissor reel because it's such a beautifully done piece of animation and just like it stuns every time.
Well, and the fact, Mitch, you mentioned like this is the first Pixar movie to have like the real human element to it. Like the fact that they did that to show the evolution of humans in space. So humanity back when they were on Earth looked normal. Now, like you can even see in the captain's room, because the first captain, it was just a picture of a dude.
Yeah.
But over time, they were more animated and.
There's also a joke about it in, I think it's when they're first going through the protocols to go back to Earth. Fred
Willard.
Fred Willard's character comes on the screen and is just like, you might have experienced some significant bone loss in space. Oh, I'm not bad. I'm just big boned. But yeah, no, this movie is absolutely phenomenal. And I think we'll get into it as we go through the plot, talk about what we thought, rank the Randys, do all that fun stuff, but let's just get
before you do that.
Just let me start.
No. So I want to table something. WALL-E is the final Terminator movie.
All right, let me tell you something, TJ. I went in. You told me this before I went in to watch it. Let me tell you, I went in there. I don't believe you've actually watched a Terminator movie.
Yeah,
I've never watched a Terminator movie.
I'm interested, and I think I know where you're going with it, but I have a rebuttal, so keep going.
So WALL-E creates self-aware machines.
Mm-hmm.
He unleashes these machines onto the Axiom. They cause quite the ruckus. He is John Connor. Yeah, okay, I've never seen a Terminator movie.
You should definitely change
John Connor must die, right?
Exactly. John Connor must die with Hayden Panettiere. And they literally forever change humanity. Like whether it's good or bad, they change how humanity works. They do what the Terminators want to do. So I would like to say that WALL-E is now forever known as the Paw Patrol Terminator movie.
And with that, I think we can start the rest of the podcast because TJ's fucking insane. So the film opens, and for the first time in a Pixar film, we get the new modern Walt Disney opening. Because famously, Disney gave Pixar shit when they released Ratatouille because it was released after the acquisition, but the film was finished before. So it was in this weird middle ground between Disney acquiring Pixar and the film releasing. They used the original Disney opening with the castle and everything, and they got crap for it because that new opening had premiered with Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest in 2006. So this is the first time Pixar used the new opening and didn't piss off the mousy overlords. And the film does open on what I think is the best song in the film, and TJ's gonna hate me for this. Put on your Sunday clothes from the musical Hello Dolly, which repeats itself and comes back multiple times throughout the film. Fun fact about that: we're gonna find my stupid fucking fun fact. I had it; it was right here. God, dude, no, where the fuck did it go?
I just want to say, while Mitch is doing this, I think we're gonna do a bonus feature because I want to pick this apart. I want to pick, going to the possible first namesake of this show. I want to pick apart your Terminator idea for WALL-E and figure out what it breeds.
I literally
Ty.
had those 2 points. That's
Okay.
It.
So
Okay.
the fun fact I have linking Hello Dolly to this film, other than the fact that its themes and its music is used numerous times, composer Thomas Newman returned to Pixar to compose this film. Famously Randy Newman's cousin, because everyone knows Randy Newman. But
like Tom
there's
Hanks
another
and Jim
famous.
Hanks.
There's another famous Newman in the family. Thomas Newman's uncle, Lionel Newman, worked on the original film Hello Dolly.
Oh.
It's all in the family, baby.
I mean, is that? I feel like that's an entire ranking, right? We have a couple songs to rank, you know. This is the Newman family, you know.
We do, but we'll continue on and see Earth, and for whatever reason, someone has applied the sepia filter to the entire planet.
That's a good one.
Famously, Pixar used key art image of Chernobyl, Ukraine, Bulgaria, and others for ideas behind what this ruined world would look like. Art director Anthony Christoph is originally from Bulgaria and knew of the problems its capital had in storing garbage. So a lot of that imagery lent itself to how Earth is portrayed in this film.
I must imagine it's probably not a great beacon of tourism, being like, oh yeah, our city was used as an example of what trash looks.
We do see imagery of windmills and nuclear plants that are sitting on top of piles of trash, and those piles of trash are even taller than some of the skyscrapers. This kind of lends itself to the fact that humanity decided far too late in this timeline to turn to renewable energies like wind and nuclear, as opposed to all this trash that they'd been accumulating over the decades. And we finally meet our little compactor that could, Wally, as he's going out and about in his day of working and organizing his trash with his cockroach buddy, Hal.
So this is the first Nick's Corner of How Does This Work? So the skyscrapers of trash. How does this work? Wally is a small little guy. How are we building this? There isn't levels. It doesn't seem like there's levels there. You know, how is he building this that high? Does he his arms just go?
Yeah, doesn't he have
Didn't he put
of
ramps
trash?
around the outside?
Yeah, it shows that you see him building the first layer.
All right, this was an
And then he
oversight.
puts-
Also, lending itself to the conspiracy
that.
theory lending itself to conspiracy theory Carmen was talking about earlier. The planet is as messed up as it is because of Wally. Wally's actually the villain of this movie, because if he hadn't cannibalized all the other Wally units for the sole purpose of surviving, we see how quickly he can put together a tower. Imagine if all those other Wally units were still functioning. The planet might have actually gone back to normal.
But is he the reason that they stopped working? I don't think so.
Yes. 100%. He was the
Because
first
that's
to
actually one of my
determine that
points.
He was the first to achieve sentience and its survival of the fittest. Since the rest of them didn't know what was going on, he just took advantage of that and absolutely decimated the entire
Does
Wally
this man
population.
look like a murderer to
I
you?
refuse to believe
He
that.
has a laser.
Listen, he is the Terminator, okay? Or he is
an
John
extra
Connor.
Hands. Those are strangling hands.
But I refuse to
Laser.
believe that cute little thing is murdering people, okay?
No.
That is the most pure thing in all of
Hal.
Pixar.
Either way,
Hal,
we
I
see
believe, killed it.
Yeah.
we see Wally also collecting trinkets and doodads from his throughout his day to add to his hoard, because he's a crazy person. And we see BNL everywhere. It's on the ships that went to space. It's on the restaurants. It's on the billboards. It's on the stores. It's literally everywhere. And there's a short vignette. This is actually the first time we hear someone speak in the movie. It's about 15 minutes in. That the Axiom mission was only meant to be 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
5 years.
Turn it into 700 real quick.
Either way, Wally goes back to his travel home thing. I don't know what it is.
His RV.
Whatever.
I'm gonna call it
His,
RV.
his junk pile.
Yeah.
He goes back to his junk pile. And we see that he's rigged together a VCR which broadcasts a video to an iPod screen, which he then magnifies.
I love all that.
How the hell in all of this did he not just find a goddamn TV to plug a VCR into?
Maybe that's the only thing he could find. You know what I mean? Like,
there are literally video screens that we see that previous message on.
yeah, but you're not hooking it up to how can you hook it up to the hologram? I mean, maybe it's this piece of
How
tech.
do you hook an iPod up to a VCR?
No, well, you didn't hook it up to the VCR. You hooked it up to the little speaker, right?
Well, no, there's a VCR that he puts the tape in.
Oh, and then
it's being broadcast on the little iPad.
Which that didn't really make any sense. But yeah, I mean, like, I like the world building of it. It was just like, this is what he has, and he figured out how to work this, and that's just what it is.
I don't know how it works.
As somebody who had dial-up internet till 2010, let me tell you, you figure out what works, okay? You put a cardboard box on your face with your iPod Touch so you can watch Netflix shows, okay?
The first moment where I started getting a little emotional gave Hal a twink.
Yeah, and he goes into it. Like, I love the little animation.
And he has and on the top of his little thingies,
so
he's got like little goobers.
I love it.
It's fun too because this kind of lends itself to the conspiracy theories of the only things that would survive the apocalypse: cockroaches and Twinkies, of which Wally has found both.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
that's funny.
You're welcome. Either way, we see Wally going through sorting all the trinkets that he's found. I love the thing with the spork, where he's got a cup of spoons and a cup of forks and doesn't know where to put the spork, so he just lays it down nicely in the middle. But Wally reminisces or imagines, I guess, because he's never experienced it, a sense of belonging, a sense of companionship while he watches Hello Dolly. He's lonely, and this comes through in the scene here. But then he wakes up the following morning and his battery's basically dead. So he's got to go outside and he's got to charge.
Genius. The fact they used his battery being low to make him relatable and tired. Because he's literally doing what all of us do, waking up. He's like having trouble putting on his fucking shoes or his treads. Like, it is. I absolutely love this. So tiny ass touch.
So he goes outside and recharges, and just to piss TJ off, the sound of him becoming fully charged is the same as the Mac OS boot up sound.
I do like that.
Because everything has to be
Sorry,
out.
well, I get the fuck out of here.
I do like that, though, because it's such a satisfying, like, boom.
Yeah.
It's the most
Something
satisfying
fell off
sound in history.
I mean, no, Windows 95. Windows 95 is. Windows 95. Let's not get it twisted. The startup in Windows 95, amazing.
Either way, he goes back out, does another expedition. I love this part where he finds an engagement ring in a box, and he's like examining. He's like, "Oh, it's so cool!" And he throws away the ring, and it's just playing with the box.
Yeah, the hinge.
It's like a cat. And then he also finds a fire extinguisher that really freaks him out because he doesn't understand why or how it works, which will come back into play later. Finds a fridge. For some reason, this is one of only 2 instances where we realize that Wally has a goddamn laser that he never uses. Why doesn't he use his laser more? That is a very useful tool that he did not use to get out of any situation other than this and one later in the film.
You mean he only used the tool to get out of situations that he needed to use the tool for?
He was in a number of situations that he could have gotten out of and did not use it. Like when they're being assaulted and their lives are threatened. He could have also used the laser there.
He doesn't murder people.
I mean, also...
we already know he does, because that's how he survived so goddamn long.
We don't know that. We don't know that. Also, I refuse to believe this cute little guy. The thing it kills people. But the thing is, with this part, and kind of to my point of just like what I love about this film is like, it shows like humanity in this robot, and also like it's the mundane day. I think it hits me more now because of just being an adult, of the mundane day to day, and just you're doing the same thing. Yet he always finds something that keeps him entertained, keeps like he is always happy. He's not never like, all right, well I'm out here. I literally have nobody. Like it's always like what's this? It's always a new thing. This has been 700 years that he's been on this planet, and he still finds things that keep him happy. Like that's what I love about this film.
If honestly, Nick, you said like it doesn't feel like this has that like overarching message. That's what I think this message is. Appreciate the little thing. Wally finds all these small things like this sport that just bring him love, and when he finds someone that he wants to share them with, he does. And then it highlights humanity's excess and how they just need to go back to the basics. That is what I think that message is like. Humans are frivolous. Sometimes just enjoy the small thing.
Yep. I mean, the ultimate piece of hope is a tiny single plant that it's like, it's
in a boot. In a boot.
Yeah. Which, speaking of,
we find the boot.
Nice segue.
The boot contains a plant. It's the first time we see green in the film, and Wally is enamored by it for some reason, even though he has no idea what it is. Either way, he goes about his day, and a mysterious red dot appears near his ship. And he follows this red dot like a dumbass. And his dumbass is nearly vaporized when he doesn't hear a big-ass spaceship landing right on fucking top of him.
You're a monster. You're a monster.
He emued.
You're a monster, Mitch.
How does he not realize there's a fucking spaceship about to land on his ass?
There's not been nothing of the sort for 700 years. You're a monster. He's a cute little thing. Let me tell you. And let me tell you, he may be woefully inept, but also, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I will not take this heresy by my guy.
Either way, we are introduced to Eve, with whom Wally instantly falls in love, albeit having no previous attachment to anything literally ever except a cockroach.
Hal. I was going to say, fuck you, Hal.
Or Hal.
Yeah, but
Hal.
he's definitely not in love with the cockroach, but immediately falls in love with this robot.
Okay, hold on. To your point, Mitch, though, and before this might be a long podcast, let me tell you. To your point, though, she is modeled after a superior device. You know what I mean? So I'm just playing to your standards. You know, would you not be in love? Would you not be in love? You know,
I've been in love with iPods in the past. I will say so. And just to get it correctly, I found it in my notes. Eve was co-designed by Apple's at the time Apple's senior vice president of industrial design, Jonathan Ive, responsible for many of the designs of Apple devices that we still know and love today. Either way, Eve's here. She seems to have a mission. She nearly vaporizes Wally because he's being a creepy jerk. And goes about her day after he hides and is not, obliterated by her, making proper use of the laser that she was granted by her creators. We get a montage of her searching the planet to the song La Vie en Rose by Louis Armstrong, which I think is also another phenomenal song that is very well used in this movie, way more so than the Peter Gabriel song used at the end. And this is where we get the Pixar staple cameo of a Pizza Planet truck, because one of the vehicles that Eve searches is a Pizza Planet truck. Wally also builds a very creepy caricature of Eve because he's not artistic at all.
Why is it creepy?
You noticed it was super creepy, and if you look closely, one of the arms that is made of trash is also made of a Luxo Junior lamp.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
It's cute.
It's super cute. Yeah.
It's not. It's creepy as fuck.
He's been alone for arguably 600 plus years. Like,
if you just met somebody and they made a replica of you out of trash, would you not immediately be like, okay?
I mean, but let me tell you, Wally doesn't come from the most, the most class of people, I guess. And you know what? Like, maybe this is all he's got. He's got trash, and that's what he knows how to do. And he knows how to make something beautiful out of trash. And it's not like he's gonna show her that necessarily, until they get into, they start hanging out, and
he does it while she's sleeping, obviously.
I mean, exactly. I don't know if that's creepy,
like a psychopath. But whatever, we move on. They do finally meet after Eve almost obliterates Wally for the second time. But yeah, now they're just kind of around each other. They have this fun moment by the campfire where there's kind of like a back and forth, and it's whatever. But then a sandstorm comes in. The second time we've seen a sandstorm, and Wally takes Eve home to avoid her getting obliterated by the sandstorm. He's showing off all his little trinkets, his doodads, trying to make her fall in love with him like a real creep. But she finds the plant, her directive activates, and she completely shuts down.
I hope you know that when we get to Up, there's going to be some real creep moments, okay?
Oh, yeah, no, you're fine.
And I am going to say, you're building this narrative. It is not creepy at all in the film. It is cute, and who hurt you, sir? Who hurt you?
I just want to know if this is what he finds creepy. I need to hear what Carmen.
Either way, Wally, understandably freaks the fuck out because Eve doesn't, move or act or do literally anything. She just blinks green and decides to keep her safe until something changes, which inevitably is the ship coming to collect her. So we get this fun montage of him trying to like keep her safe, and he gets, blasted by lightning like an idiot, and a whole bunch of other cute little things. But the ship does eventually come to collect Eve, and Wally himself hitches a ride to space on the outside of the spaceship, which probably would have crushed him, leaving I don't know. Go ahead, TJ.
This scene was another moment where I got a little emotional. Not like to edge of tears, but he's leaving.
Was it because of
Hal.
Sputnik?
Okay, no,
two
Sputnik's
words.
great. But no,
Sputnik.
he's leaving Hal alone, who waits there the entire time he's gone.
Hal might be the best character.
And presumably, like, he's going to space, and like that's going to take a long time. It might have been decades between him leaving the planet and coming back.
Yeah, because like it shows like it doesn't have like sublight engines or whatever. So
nope, that's a long ass trip.
And then Hal forms with his cockroach buddies, and they build a new Wally, and they call it Wally Tootie. Chaos.
Nick, who hurt you?
Chaos.
Who hurt
Chaotic evil. Let me tell you.
Either way, we arrive on the Axiom, this starliner in the sky or in space or whatever you want to call it, and we're introduced to like the second what was that?
sorry, I'm looking through my notes to see if there's anything I wanted to come up, and I realized for when he shows her the fucking that herb, I wrote he is cock blocked by a bean sprout.
He is cockblocked by a bean sprout.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Either way, we're introduced to this whole, space thing, the space station. Everyone's gotten fat. They're all lazy. They're all riding around on what the film calls the people mover. And now is time where we can segue into one of my favorite segments on this show, Pixar Guys Talk Theme Park Rides.
Pixar guys, we're Pixar guys. We're gonna talk about the theme park rides. Yeah! Get that energy,
Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you for the introduction. Welcome to Pixar Guys Talk Theme Park Rides, where we relate the Pixar films we watch to the theme park rides we love. And today, it is the People Mover. So for those who are unaware, the People Mover has existed both at Disneyland in California and at Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida. Famously in California, it was replaced and then subsequently shut down because the Disney Imagineers have no souls. This is a wonderful attraction. It is essentially just an elevated tram ride, but very slow, very casual. It's something you can take your mom on and she wouldn't get woozy. It's one of the first rides. It's one of the rides that WED Engineering repurposed from their display at the 1964 New York World's Fair. At the World's Fair, it was sponsored by the Ford Motor Company. They actually took the ride that they built, or the attraction they built for the World's Fair, transported it to California, used it for years. There were some incidents over the years. A few people tragically did die or were hurt on this ride because there really is there's no it is just an elevated tram. There's no seatbelts. You just get in, you sit on the thing, and you go. In 1967, a 16-year-old boy was killed while jumping between two moving cars as the ride was passing through a tunnel. He stumbled and fell onto the track where an oncoming train of cars crushed him beneath its wheels and dragged his body a few hundred feet before it was stopped by a ride operator. It had only been open for a month in Disneyland at the time.
Well, shit.
Sure
72, there were 4 teenage girls riding the People Mover. When one lost her Mickey ears, she and her cousin jumped onto the track to retrieve them, realizing they'd then have to get onto a different car. One girl was able to successfully get into another train. The other ran through the tunnel and out the exit and fell into a guardrail and fell 30 feet from where the train was running. So 30 feet to the ground. Broke an arm, hip, and her pelvis. She had to be in a body brace and have a pin inserted into her leg and sued Disney for not having any warnings about the exit of the ride.
Yo,
What is it, TJ?
Yo, Mortal Kombat who? Jesus, Disney?
Holy shit.
And in 1980, an 18-year-old was crushed and killed by the people mover, again, jumping between cars. The ride closed in 95 as part because Michael Eisner was trying to say, no, it's because Michael Eisner was trying to save money because this attraction had become very expensive to maintain over the years, and was replaced by the short-lived rocket rods in 1998 and was just entirely retired when that ride really went nowhere. But the ride does still exist to this day in Tomorrowland in Walt Disney World. It is very much a different ride. There is more. You're not going to, like, the trains don't run nearly as close to each other. It is very slow. It is a very slow ride. It's one of the nicest ways to just casually enjoy your day at Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World. It passes through Space Mountain, so you can see behind the scenes a little bit. If the lights are on because the attraction is shut down, you can see the track and realize you should not be riding that roller coaster. Because everything gets way too close and it's way too cramped for what it is. But it's a wonderful way to really get some AC from some passings through in the Magic Kingdom there in Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando. Just don't get out of the car and try to jump between them.
Just don't get out of the car.
Experience.
Just don't go on
Just stay in the ride. Every ride says keep your arms and legs inside the car at all times. Listen to that. Otherwise, you might end up in a body brace.
I mean, still, like, oh. Whoa.
Body brace.
All right, we can get back to the movie now. Where the hell was I in my notes? So Wally's going along, trying to follow Eve, and he's got Mo chasing after him, cleaning up all this dirt. Helps John, or kind of, knocks John out of his people mover chair because John thinks he's just going to be like a servant and take his cup or whatever. And there's this whole thing, like he physically cannot get up, which is just... sad. Very, very sad. But it also breaks them out of this trance that everyone seems to be in, where they're addicted to the screens and the visuals and everything else in front of them, don't even realize what else is going on around them, which leads us to the next human interaction that Wally has with Mary. He wakes her up and out of her trance. He's like, oh yeah, no, go ahead, just like pass through, get to Eve or whatever. She'd lived here her entire life and didn't realize there was a pool on the ship.
So this is my first edition, Nicholas Blaine's first edition. That last one was episode 0 of how does this work? How are they populated? How do you get more babies if you cannot even
test tubes
get up?
Test tube.
I mean, I guess, but like, wait, what human is available? Are they doctors? Are there doctors?
It's robots.
I guess there are.
No,
robots.
it's robots. 100%.
Well,
all automated.
Just they stick them, drip them, and then fucking
Amazon
shove it
babies.
on in.
What the?
Shout out to
Time.
Greg and Jen Miller, now expecting a baby. That's great.
I mean, shout out. I guess. Yeah.
The segueing into the professional. How is this? The fucking outfit. That is what blew me away the most.
Oh, the color change?
Was halfway through it changes colors. But the thing that gets me is that whenever people are disengaged from their machine, it changes back to red. Like that, it blew me away. Like I've seen this movie tons of times, but I totally forgot that.
Either way, Wally accompanies Eve as she's shepherded towards the captain's quarters, where the autopilot, realizing Eve had come back positive for greenery, activates Directive A113. As we've discussed previously in this is the first time we get A113 being a direct plot device. A113 is typically known as the room at the CalArts Animation Institute, where a number of the original Pixar, designers attended. So they try to drop that Easter egg into every one of their films. We get this interesting thing that TJ talked about earlier, where we see all the portraits of the captains realizing how long they've been on this ship, and they gradually get much less bony. And the autopilot, for whatever reason, is closer and closer in every portrait.
That's your Terminator. Because that's initially where I thought you were going, was like that is the Terminator. Like he is
Skynet.
But
Secret Directive.
But it's much more of HAL. Like HAL 9000, where it's just like, I can't let you do that, Dave. Like, it's fair. And especially with like the text to speech or whatever the fuck it is, like that is horrifying. Every time it's like, message for the doc, sir. Like, it's just,
I mean, yeah, everything about this scene makes you realize the captain is just there as like a figurehead. because like he's woken up and he's pampered to start his day. They can't even put his jacket on. They just do up the top button, and he realizes it's 12:30. And we all know how that feels to wake up at 12:30 thinking it's like 9 in the morning.
I just want to shout out the barber robot. It's like, I know, honey, I know.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
People skills, baby. People skills. Either way, it seems like he's got no training whatsoever, because when the A113 directive is activated, he doesn't even realize that's a thing. Like, we can go home, we can go back to Earth, and then a book is spat out of the system for him to read. And I don't know if he knows how to read.
No,
because he tries to get the book to read it to him,
it to him
because he doesn't understand how paper works. He's absolutely dumbfounded by the concept of a book.
I mean, he could definitely read, because he can like, he just gets the Manuel part wrong. He can't read well, but he can read.
Can he read? Because it's a picture book.
He said
it's a picture book.
But he says Operation Manuel. He can't read well, but he can still read. Also, when you're on a ship that you're a captain of, that you only have to do like 7 things the entire day, like check 7 things the entire day, like they're not gonna. After 700 years, they're not gonna teach you this deep shit when we're going back.
He doesn't even check it. Yeah. He just says, "Tell me what's the thing." It could very much be a situation like, oh, what was that? Fucking show with Hugh Laurie. What was that one called?
Oh,
they're in space.
The HBO show. Yeah.
Oh,
HBO
Avenue 5.
Avenue 5. This is an Avenue 5 situation where the entire crew is just fabricated or, not really doing their jobs, and there's like a shadow crew actually doing
spoilers for
wow.
Avenue 5.
Spoilers for a show that's canceled.
You're never gonna watch it.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're never gonna watch it.
No, I still think that there's like he like it's a thing, like nobody knows like the full extent of their job. In terms of like, no one's gonna know, like, unless the emergency happens, you just have to teach somebody. Like, that's unfortunately that's just how things work. And with the robots, like, they're like, one Otto is programmed not to have this happen, not to have the directive be played out. So I don't really know why he even initiates the A1113, but at the same, I think it's probably part of his protocol as well. But I think at the same time, it's like part of his protocol is to not have them go back to Earth, and that's the thing, is why would I'm assuming the robots, like we saw, are teaching the kids and then end up teaching the captain. Why would you teach something that doesn't actually, like, it doesn't want to happen?
Yeah, that's fair. I think too. We see a little later with all the all the fudging of where the plant is and all that. But like, even though this scenario is presented to the captain, it's also presented in such a way that it could never really happen, because the thing was faulty or whatever. Like, they're always going to find a way to cover it up.
Yeah.
If it gets to that point, like, how many Eve probes have come to Earth at this point, returned with a specimen that didn't even make its way to the captain? Right. Yeah. We don't know to what extent they've been probing Earth and coming back with samples. Either way, the captain opens Eve up, and the plant is gone. Quelle surprise. So the captain sends Eve for conditioning or repair or whatever it was. And then, unfortunately, like many of us, goes down his equivalent of a Wikipedia rabbit hole of just Googling the crap out of everything until about 4 a.m.
Man, do I want pizza plants. I want pizza plants so bad.
I literally have a note, pizza plants.
At this point, I just want to hoe down. Like, I want to go outside.
At this point, I just want to hoe down. Let me tell you, they're not as great as what you think,
Wally and Eve arrive at the repair station with all the other malfunctioning robots. Are they really malfunctioning? Or are these other robots that have gained enough sentience to realize they need to revolt back against their human overlords, who really don't do anything anymore anyway, and take control of this ship?
Terminator.
I mean, it's opposite Terminator, right? Because John Connor is part of the Resistance, like, so
yeah, like these
Reversinator.
The Reversinator.
Either way, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say the makeover that Wally gets here is adorable. I would love it.
We also see Eve taken back for diagnostics, in which Wally just sees through like a frosted door that they remove her arm, and it looks like they take her head off. And for only the second time in this movie, Wally uses the most useful tool at his disposal, his goddamn laser, to get out of his constraints and try to fucking save Eve. and in doing so, accidentally uses her arm to blow up the locking mechanism in the room and let loose all the malfunctioning robots.
I mean, maybe.
All right, Nick.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a video project for you. I'm not going to pay you for it, but you're going to do it, okay?
I mean,
I want this
Don't pay him for
scene.
this. I mean,
I want this scene and the two robot riot scenes that
Mhm.
happen in this movie, because there's one here and one later,
I'm
spliced together to the tune of 3 Days Grace, Let's Start a Riot.
Oh my god. Maybe. I'll add it to the portfolio.
Okay.
and it's got to be in black and white.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say
That'd be lovely.
Terminator, the Terminator thing.
No, God. Better movie than Terminator.
Either way, chaos ensues here the same way it does in Terminator, as Wally and Eve are both labeled fugitives of the ship, I guess. There's no real state up here, just the state of BNL, and are on the run. But they run into that little helper bot that was kind of nosing around all the other previous scenes.
Gopher.
He's trying to Gopher, thank you. And he's trying to ditch the plant. Wally, in trying to save the plant, gets launched away in an escape pod that is set to self-destruct.
Also,
This scene.
I just wanted
Sorry, go ahead,
I just wanted to go back to the laser thing. Maybe it takes up just a lot of energy, you know?
Yeah, he is
Could be.
solar powered.
Yeah.
But this scene here of them floating in space, using the fucking fire extinguisher, this is art.
Yeah, 100%. Like this made me it makes me feel things so much. I think that's the thing throughout this movie that Pixar movies do a lot where it is a certain scene where you're just like, that is the scene that makes me feel, and that's what the scene that makes me feel strongest. Whereas like this movie throughout, it makes me feel that every single sort of like small snippet that we get, I think it feels
We will
throughout.
go to the least romantic scene in Pixar history in a second. But in the meantime, Wally scrambles to try and abort the self-destruct sequence on the escape pod, is unable to do so, and the pod explodes. Wally thankfully survives thanks to a well-executed fire extinguisher strategy and saves the plant. Cue space dancing and sparks.
The no that comes from Eve, like, gets me. She may not be like a regular voice actress. She needs to get into it, because man, like that, like the no, like it gets me. It's getting me right now. Like, oh god.
Either way, our two heroes return to the ship, plant in tow, present it to the captain, but Otto stops them. Why is that? It turns out that Otto's actually been running the show for decades, an additional hidden directive which overrides all of the captain's authority on the ship. Our robo-heroes get trashed, and our captain is sequestered to his living quarters.
Well, and then like you're leaving out like the thing where Otto does the electrocution on Wally. Holy fuck, dude! Like,
Yeah.
Straight up murks the dude.
yeah, like, and it's like a thing of like he's like losing sight. You can see like, oh, it's awful. It is so awful.
Yeah.
Awful. Either way, they end up in some oversized trash compactor with some I thought I wrote it down. They wall A's, I think.
Yeah,
Wall R's.
Wall R? Okay.
Yeah.
That was
I mean, it
Wall
might.
R? I thought it was wall
I
A.
thought it was Wall R, but it might be Wall A, which would be pretty.
Let us know in the
interesting.
comments which of us is right, and I think it might be me and TJ, but I'm not sure.
This scene though, I've got a couple notes here, Mitch. So I'm just
Go
gonna
for it.
take
This one's
I'm gonna
yours.
Take the wheel. So
Okay,
first and
Otto.
foremost, the best. I was gonna say Jesus. The best little tidbit here is the fact that there are mice on the ship that are little computer mice,
Oh yes.
and I absolutely love. Like, it's the thing that makes no sense, but I absolutely love that little touch.
Yeah. Also, I thought you were gonna go a different direction. Be like, there's mice on this ship. There's the robot mice. Robot Ratatouille. Again, you know?
I mean, it could be.
That would be the best sequel.
Right.
Make for a great
and then
Pixar show, that's for
Robotui.
sure.
Robotui. You know, I'm pitching it out there.
The
It writes itself.
Zack Snyder's Robotui callback.
No more Zack Snyder in this series. I declare it now. Until Zack
No,
Snyder
I'm
writes
not
and
making
produces
any
the Disney
promises.
Pixar film, we're not talking about Zack
Get
Snyder.
on it, Disney.
not
you know?
making a promise.
Something Snyder cut.
this scene also has just like you see such genuine and pure love between us. Like, yes, we can make jokes like, oh, Wally's creepy on like love at first sight, but like the love Eve has for him, that she is like panicking, trying to find a way to fix him. Like, it is like the emotions are real. And then the thing that I think is the only detractor, but also might be the funniest fucking thing I've ever thought of in my entire life, is that this movie suffers from Deus Ex Machina. When fucking Mo saves Wally and Eve,
I mean,
because of that fucking door.
that sounds like Zack Snyder writing to me. You know what I mean?
100%.
So Wally and Eve are about to get yeeted out of the airlock when Mo saves their damn asses just by getting stuck in a fucking door.
Deus Ex Machina.
Wally's definitely seen better days in this scene, and Eve freaking out. Wally's just like, Earth, because he's got spare parts from all his murderous days on Earth.
Conspiracy.
So all of the Eve realizes, okay, we've got the plant, we've got everything, we just got to get the ship back to Earth. So she's on a mission, absolutely. All of the rogue robots rally to Eve because they all start humming or singing the song from Hello Dolly, because that's the most important song in the movie, and attempt to help her activate Directive A113. The captain kind of figures out a way to trick Otto, gets himself out of captivity, and then this struggle ensues where Otto ends up capsizing the ship in space, which doesn't make sense at all.
I mean,
because it would have a center of gravity that even if you rotated the ship in space, which has no direction, would be maintained by the whatever's generating that artificial gravity on the ship.
I mean, but maybe like not in this world, Maybe they don't have that built in, like in terms of, you know what I mean? Like in terms.
Then how do they survive in space?
No.
Also,
but I mean, like because. Let me just hear me out here. This is my headcanon. So it's a ship, and it has the gravity. So when it's moving, like it's not a planet, it's a ship. So when it's moving, it acts like an actual ship rather than acting like it's stupid, of course. But by and large, or whatever the fuck they're called, maybe they're the real villains.
Is if whatever's generating the gravity on the ship moved when the ship's wheel was moved.
No.
And that would take up
Also, mind you, this last movie that we watched was a movie about a rat running a restaurant. I want you to just put that there. If you're trying to poke holes in this, we can poke holes in all of these,
Also, Mitch, you are wrong in this fact because you're saying that turning the ship, they shouldn't be sliding around.
No,
but the way their artificial gravity would work is it's all the force pushing towards the one direction. The thing doesn't move with the ship. It's not like a pendulum. Whatever way you spin the wheel, it moves. It just moves the ship in that direction. So it's spinning. The gravity would still be forcing them towards the floor or towards wherever the bottom direction is.
But there's no bottom direction in space.
But but there isn't in space. But the artificial gravity makes it so there's a bottom direction. They're not out in the void of space.
TJ, One Direction, Harry Styles, he gets it.
Doesn't matter where
fucking
No, that's not how gravity
You're such
works.
a fucking Zane.
That's not how fucking gravity works. Okay.
I don't even know what that means, but you are Zane.
I don't know either. I had someone's
actually no. I think Zane's one of the sexier ones.
You're such a fucking.
Wally's able to get the plant to the terminal thingy, even though the Otto then jabs the button to make it crush Wally beyond recognition. He keeps it open long enough by sacrificing himself. Eve's able to plant the plant.
Yeah.
Cue the hyperspace jump, and they're back to Earth in like 60 seconds. Eve flees the ship, gets back to Wally's home, finds any spare parts that he has, and this is where we get to how does this work? In that we are presented with what general audiences, came to learn about through WandaVision, but we all know it from Wally, and that is the ship of Theseus paradox. Because if all of these parts in Wally are being replaced, is Wally still Wally, or is he now something new because he's not the same parts that made up Wally in the first place?
I mean, also...
You replace the boards, is it the same ship? Or is it a new ship because it's new boards?
Also.
But Here's where the ship of Theseus doesn't add into this part of the equation. Does the ship of Theseus have a soul? Wally clearly
Does
has
he?
a soul.
100%.
But
At
he's
this
artificial.
point, he's very
artificial, though.
So I mean, so is
Either
Also,
way,
all those test tube babies shouldn't be having souls either.
also apparently
maybe they don't. We don't meet any of these test tube babies.
you
also
assume my soul.
apparently we talked about spoilers for Wall-E. We did not talk about the WandaVision spoilers, the spoilers for
I
whatever
didn't
the
get
fuck
anything
Avenue
other
Q or
than
whatever
the
the
fact
fuck.
that this paradox is addressed in that show.
Listen.
In what way? You'll have to watch WandaVision to find out.
What is
Or our
Wall-E?
several
What
MCU
is
reviews.
Wall-E if not Pixar persevering? You know what I mean?
So I think it's at this point, or actually I think it might have been the trash compactor. Just again to reiterate how such a strong and good love relationship this is.
The charm.
Where Wally goes to say, like, I think it actually was a trash compactor, where he gives her the plan and goes like directive, and she fucking hucks it, and she's like, no, directive.
You're the
It's
directive.
like,
Yeah.
just, it's so good.
Well, and
It's
just
so good.
Either way,
just the lifelessness in Wall-E, like he becomes the robot, he becomes like
Yeah.
just this
Yeah.
shell, and it's awful.
he's reset to system preferences.
Yep, it's
Default,
Yeah.
it's
default
awful.
Factory
man.
new.
operating system. But all it took was a spark, and then Eva. And he's back, and he's Wally, and that, along with the fact that Eve spent all this time trying to find one planet, and it turns out there were thousands. But we also don't know how long it's been since Eve and Wally were here.
100%.
And we're at the end of the movie with some song by some guy that doesn't really matter. That being said, we can move on to the video game which accompanied Wally, if any of us played it.
Yo, I have played this game. It fucking sucks. It's the first
Nick?
one that fucking sucks, okay? Let me
Alright.
tell you, I haven't played the
Cool.
Ratatouille one. I'm not sure about that one. This Wally game is devoid. It is everything that Wally is not. Let me tell it's a 3D platformer, and it's awful. It is the most trash of trash, and that is coming from a trash game. You know what I mean? Awful.
And a trash person.
And a trash person. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you for that. And I think with that, we can move on to ranking the Randys.
Ranking them Randys. There's many of them.
There are a lot, and we're going to get into it real quick. I've got 3 contenders for the list this week, and all jokes aside, the Peter Gabriel song Down to Earth is one of them. Calm down, TJ. But we have to decide, are we ranking all 3? Is only one of them going to make the list? What's going to happen?
We're ranking all 3 first
So-
of all.
Yeah, I was
this
gonna
is
say,
happening.
there's been movies
Yeah,
where
we
we've
did-
done one, where
yeah,
we've done a couple.
The first Toy
like,
Story, we did like the 3 songs.
Plus.
Okay, so we've got Put On Your Sunday Clothes from Hello Dolly, Down to Earth, performed by Peter Gabriel, music by Peter Gabriel and Thomas Newman, lyrics by Peter Gabriel, and Louis Armstrong's La Vie en Rose.
The problem we have here is that,
It's the Ship of Theseus paradox.
well, no, it's the there's songs that have been amazing for years, and then you have Peter Gabriel, and it is good. It is good. It is
good.
really good. This is the only thing in this movie that I don't think is a 10 out of 10. I want to fight for it. I want to help you out, TJ. I want to help you out, but I have no points. I thought it was very good, but not my thing, and not what I think is a heart in this movie. I don't think I can
Out of
fight
these
for it. I don't think
out of
I
these
personally can
three
fight
too-
for it.
Yeah, out of these 3 tunes, the only one I don't associate with the movie Wall-E is Down to Earth. The other 2 are synonymous with this film. I forgot this was even in it till we rewatched it.
Yeah.
Alex?
I think it does a
Alright.
disservice because it is just at the end of this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Alright.
it's not like it's far from like it's like not iconic compared to the Put On Your Sunday Shoes, which I think was such a great opening song, like first sort of piece of music to kind of to kind of juxtapose your tone a little bit of like the visuals compared to like the song. I think that's like the strongest piece of music through the whole thing.
Do we want to just rank the one then?
No, we're ranking.
No,
all
no,
of
no,
them.
no,
we
no,
gotta-
no,
we
no,
gotta
no,
do
We
no.
all
are
three.
definitely ranking all. of them.
Also,
La Vie en
hold
Rose.
on,
Do we feel like
motherfucker!
that?
I get my
I want-
milk box.
You get your soapbox in a second. La Vie en Rose, no one's really talking about it. Do we want to rank that as well?
I
Or do we
don't
want
think
to just
I
stick to
do
the
not.
other
I
2?
honestly can't even remember this.
Me either.
I don't either, to be honest.
Okay, that one will drop then. So then it is Put on Your Sunday Clothes from the musical Hello Dolly
Wait.
and Down to Earth.
The Le'Veon Rose, is that one the Louis Armstrong one?
Yeah, that's the one that goes during the montage of Eve searching for the plant.
I'm just gonna say no.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no, but with the preface, Louis Armstrong is a fucking magnificent musician. If you haven't watched, if you haven't listened to the Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong soundtracks, not soundtrack, but the album, you need to go watch that. Or not watch that. Look, I'm in a watch mood, but you need to go listen to it because Louis Armstrong is great. But it's not, like, for this movie, it's not prominent enough.
So
all right,
it's the tune all on the trumpet. That bit? No, nothing. Just me. All right, whatever.
It's great. It's great.
That's fine then.
It's 100% great. I don't like, even with Peter Gabriel thing. Like, I feel like that still has some weight in this movie just because of the ending and the drawings at the end and kind of what it does. Like there's
society
something.
Returning in some
yeah,
fashion.
like I feel like that. Whereas like that is a point in the movie, but it's not like it's not emphasized enough. I feel like yeah. Anyways.
All right, TJ.
all right, motherfucker. So
Sell me.
Peter Gabriel's fucking Down to Earth. First and foremost, I can't. It's this S something choir because it's a choir that accompanies in for this song. It's about 6-7 minutes long, the full version. Fantastic from start to end. It is a great bop, no matter what the occasion. This is one of my top played songs on Apple Music and Spotify. I absolutely loved this song, and I knew it was from WALL-E. It's where I first heard it, but it has transcended the movie for me. I've actually listened to the song more than I've seen WALL-E. What?
The choir featured in the song is the Soweto Gospel Choir.
That's it. It is fantastic. And the biggest thing, and Nick, you kind of touched on this. This is one of the songs, this and the end credits, are one of the only songs in Pixar so far that extend the movie. It builds on the movie. Yes, You've Got a Friend in Me starts, it kind of sets the mood. But this yes, it's at the end credits. It should have been at many parts of the movie because it is the best. Honestly, my favorite part of this fucking movie, apart from WALL-E himself, the fact that it extends the story and it talks about how we're coming down to Earth. Baby, it's a birth. We're like the drawings that accompany the end credits showing humanity going from these fat lard asses. Which again, one of my notes. How does this work? How did these fatties get to the door so fast? It shows them going from these huge people back to what is a normal person. That's coming from a fatty himself. It shows this transition, and the song accompanies it is such a addition to this movie that extends it. And Peter Gabriel does such a good fucking job. Oh dude, his vocals, this is hands down for me top one. I think in terms of iconic, Randy Newman's You Gotta Friend Me, top. In terms of pure quality, Peter Gabriel and the fucking choir do it.
All right, let's get into these Okay, sorry.
I just want to iterate on the fact that to me, Peter Gabriel's voice in this one is the worst part of it. I think where it's very like that every little thing she does is, even though I know that's a different song entirely, but
that's 100% The Police.
No, 100%. But I mean, that's kind of what it gives me, and it gives me this raspy, just not. It doesn't go with the song very well.
Olin Oates,
yeah,
kind of poppy 80s.
To me,
guy.
And that's the thing. It's I personally, I would not listen to this song. And that's just a personal thing. That's not to say the quality of the song, because I do think it is quality. But to say I think the thing with, it might just be because it has been baked in for years and years and years. But I think the quality and the iconicness of You've Got a Friend in Me, it transcends. Given what you will about Randy Newman's voice, I think that the tune, everything is just perfection. I think that is also can't be understated. I don't think that this necessarily doesn't this deserves a ranking on this. This does okay. to the points.
It's the original song. It makes sense.
Well, and for the points that TJ says, where it does extend the film, and I do agree with that. I do agree with a lot of what he says about that. I don't agree with some of the other stuff, the it being like
the song,
iconic
the song
opposed
itself is I was gonna say the song itself accompanies what goes on after the end of the film, but the visuals is what sets that apart and continues to tell the story. It's
the
not
lyrics still.
the song
lyrics
does
still
to an
continue
the
extent,
lyrics are great.
but I'm not focused on the lyrics when I'm watching this thing. I'm focused on the iconography, not
I
the
think it's
lyrics
part of
themselves. It doesn't really mesh the two together well, in my opinion, but that's an opinion.
I think the biggest thing for me is out of all the Pixar original songs that they've done, and I'm preferencing original because I know the ocean one from
Life is a highway.
Life is a highway too.
The Hello Dolly one in this film, like
of
Yeah,
all
Hello
of the original Pixar songs, like made for Pixar movies, this is the only one I have and willingly listen to outside of the movie. You Got a Friend Me, great. I would not when I'm sitting here working during the day, I would not blast You Got a Friend on Me on my speakers. I do it all the fucking time. I only have the Michael Bublé version, which is not good. But
I blast If I Didn't Have You. Let's get to the list. Let's get to the list. Let's get to the rankings. We're taking too much time talking about Peter Gabriel when he doesn't deserve this much airtime on this show. As it stands.
Yeah, that's right. Hey.
And she's our tiebreaker. God damn it. Okay, so at number 10, you've got Strange Things. At number 9, you've got Thomas Newman's score from Finding Nemo. Number 8, you've got Randy Newman doing what Randy Newman does in A Bug's Life. Number 7, you've got Sailing. Number 6, you have Rascal Flatts' cover of Life is a Highway from Cars. Number 5, Le Festin by Michael Giacchino, performed by Camille from Ratatouille. Michael Giacchino's incredible score comes in at number 4. When Someone Loves Me comes in at number 3. Number 2, If I Didn't Have You. And at number 1, You've Got a Friend in Me. So what do we want to do first? Hello, Dolly, Put on Your Sunday Clothes, or Down to Earth by Peter Gabriel?
Or are we doing it all at once? Because we have...
No, everything we have is a different ranking.
Yeah, because
we can rank them separately, or we can just rank them.
But I figure we were rank them together because isn't
well, You Got a Friend in Me and Sailing is different. Like they're actually at the top and bottom.
Yeah, we ranked 2 for Toy Story.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, if you wanted to do it that way, we could. But
I want to do them separate because I like Put On Your Sunday Clothes. I don't like.
Yeah.
I think we should rank them together because one, of course that, but also, we have Toy Story is the only one we did. Other than that, it's soundtrack from X, soundtrack from Z, or a specific song.
Yeah,
I think they didn't have anything that stood out.
Yeah,
and each of those films really only had one thing that did stand out. This has multiple.
I mean, at the same time,
that's what I'm saying. So that's why you group it together.
At the same time, too, to TJ's point, we have Incredibles very high, and there's not a quote unquote standout thing, a song from it.
Yeah.
So I would say I would agree with saying we could rank it together.
I say if it's one thing, sure. I think if going back, if we were to redo this, I'd say we do the Toy Story 1 sound.
Yeah.
Although You've Got a Friend in Me, I think is in every fucking movie.
It is.
But based on what we've done previously, apart from Toy Story, unless there's only a one-hit wonder, it's been the soundtrack. Yeah. And I think in this case, because in this case you also can throw in the
Louis Armstrong one,
single testicular Lance Armstrong one.
Louis Armstrong, fuck you. This goes at the bottom now. Yeah. I can't believe you would fuck over Louis Armstrong.
I see trees agree.
Great. Satchmo Armstrong, great artist
Alex,
of our
what
time.
do you think? Rank them together or rank them separate?
I mean, I really think that they should be ranked separately because for one, I think one of the songs is vastly superior to the other. And it's also just not a score. The score you can rank kind of collectively as this is a overall arching, encompassing,
and they are separate songs.
The entire movie. Where this is
when there's been separate songs, we've ranked separate songs. When there's been a score that has kind of, told set the tone for the film, we've done the score. Who cares? It's just a list. Let's just do it.
No, we need the tiebreaker.
The important list.
This is an important list, motherfucker.
Should we rank the songs from WALL-E as a single unit or as in? The ruling from our tiebreaker is to do them separate because they are completely different songs.
You just know, CJ, that the one song you like is going low.
Do we want to start with Put On Your Sunday Clothes or Down to Earth by Peter Gabriel? Or do we want to start?
Let's do the Sunday Clothes because that's the first one in the movie.
Okay, so Put On Your Sunday Clothes from the musical Hello, Dolly. by show of hands, do we think this ranks better than Strange Things from Toy Story, whatever it was?
Oh, 100%.
Everyone's hands are up. Keep your hand up if you feel like Put on Your Sunday Clothes is better than Thomas Newman's score in Finding Nemo. All the hands remain. Better than Randy Newman's score in A Bug's Life. Everyone's hands stay up. Better than Sailing from Toy Story. All the hands remain. Better than Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts. All the hands remain up. Better than Le Festin from Ratatouille. Everyone's hands staying. Where is this going? The Incredibles score. All the hands are up.
Okay.
No, this is where I bow out.
Right, well, I'm coming back up.
I'm not. So I'm bowing out on that one. 3 hands do stay up. Better than When Someone Loves Me from Toy Story 2.
No.
All the hands come down. So that is where Put on Your Sunday Clothes from the musical Hello Dolly, as featured in Ratatouille, falls on our list. And now Down to Earth, as performed by one Peter Gabriel. Do we think this is better than Strange Things?
I'll give it.
3 hands are up. My hand is down. Well, DJ stick comes middle finger. Better than Thomas Newman's score in Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
I think we ranked them weird, so my hand's going to go back up because it's not going to make much of a difference anyway. Better than Randy Newman's score in A Bug's Life. Better than Sailing from Toy Story. My hand's actually going down this time. Everyone else's are staying up. Better than Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts. Alex's hand goes down. We now have a tie. Carmen, is the Peter Gabriel song Down to Earth from the end of Wall-E better or worse than Rascal Flatts' cover of Life is a Highway? It's better. Okay, it continues.
Yeah,
Le Festin from Ratatouille.
Yeah, I'll keep it up.
Okay, hands are up. Carmen, I need another tiebreaker. Ratatouille song versus Peter Gabriel.
You can say
Wow.
Ratatouille 'cause it's your
Okay.
favorite.
I'm not happy about this. Better than Michael Giacchino's score from The Incredibles.
There's no way.
Okay.
There's no way.
I heard the tiebreaker in the background say, oh no, as well. So
Nick, what
TJ,
the
this is
fuck?
where you lose.
There's no way.
Down to Earth is
I
performed by
can't.
Peter Gabriel. Comes in just below Michael Giacchino's score from the film The Incredibles.
Not a bad spot.
I can't.
That's honestly higher than I expected.
I'm
it to
sorry.
go.
Okay, you know what,
Really
Nick? No. Inside fucking baseball here, guys. Me and Nick had a discussion the other fucking day.
I can't.
This motherfucker
guys are
proposed to me
conspiring.
that we were gonna he would help me put this at the top if I helped him do something later on.
Also-
But guess what, motherfucker? That's not gonna happen.
When I realized afterwards, I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna need any help with that one. But 2, I helped you get it as high as it did. First off,
No,
second
well,
off,
higher than it
I
should've
can't
gone.
believe you
That's an
would.
extra spot.
I can't believe you would announce our shady dealings on air. 3,
Fuck yeah, motherfucker.
I
It's just
tried
thrown
to
out the
find
window
things
now.
that I actually loved about this song, but man, I do not like it. I do not like this song, but
It is not redeeming.
I don't think it's. I don't
It is
think.
an
I don't think. I don't think
amazing
there's
song.
enough. Like I do agree with the points that TJ does say. Like to be fair, I put it at the place that it was because of what TJ said. Other than that, I do not like this film or this film.
Incredibles is not better than
Okay,
this.
we're moving on.
100% it is.
Okay, shush, shush. An adult
It's just
speaking.
discount
An
Mission
adult
Impossible,
is
motherfucker.
Speaking. Shut the fuck up. We're moving on to the Pixar short that accompanied this and ranking it with all the other ones. We're talking about Pixar's Presto, which features a magician getting into a fight with his rabbit and causing a whole bunch of chaos through a magic hat.
Cute.
This
Totally forgot it existed.
this
but it
one's
was really
this one's
cute.
the easiest number 1 for me. I love this.
Really?
It's so good.
Oh, wow.
I love the
I think
animation. I love
yeah.
I love everything about this. Like this is where I'm like, yo, I do not need to like even fight for this. Like I feel like I feel like it's so well done. It is miles away from that. Like made me feel more than anything that Pixar shorts have done recently. Not recently, but
Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a lot of agreement with what Nick said. Like, I think Presto is the first one of these shorts, aside from Jerry's Game, that has like done anything for me at all. Like, just I enjoyed it. I do not remember this short before having watched it again, and it genuinely surprised me. Like, it felt like this is like this is where it feels like they started to like really find themselves when it came to the shorts. Because otherwise, like all the other shorts just felt like let's just try this. Yeah, let's just try this. Let's try this like little thing and like maybe do this, do that. Where this felt like it was like this felt
this is a passion.
inspired.
Yeah, this is a passion project for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. TJ, anything, or we want to move on to the ranking?
It's it was a fun time. I don't think it's the best of the best. I think it's good. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Our list as it stands at number 8, we've got Tin Toy. At number 7, we have For the Birds. Number 6 is One Man Band. At number 5, we've got Knick Knack. At number 4, we've got Boundin'. At number 3 is Luxo Jr. Number 2 is Jerry's Game. And our number 1 spot right now for Pixar shorts, Lifted. So I'm looking at this and, you know, I kind of want to start voting with this around Knick Knack.
I think that Knick Knack.
I don't care.
Okay, so
yeah.
By show of hands up, who feels like Presto is a better short than Knick Knack? All the hands stay up. Who thinks it's better than Boundin'? TJ wavered, but all the hands stayed up. Who thinks it's better than Luxo Jr.? TJ's hand goes down. Who thinks it's better than Jerry's Game? My hand went down.
Fair
Alex's
enough.
hand went down. Nick was the only one remaining, and Carmen hadn't watched it, so it's a good thing there wasn't a tie because Presto comes in at number 3 on our.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You fall asleep during a lot of movies, honey. Let's move on to the big one, and we're gonna rank this film, WALL-E, as it stands beside all of the other Pixar Animation Studios films. Everyone's stretching.
One second, let me get myself ready.
I'm going to read it out loud for all our fans out there. As the list stands right now, at number 8, we have A Bug's Life. At number 7, Finding Nemo. At number 6, we have Cars. At number 5, Toy Story. At number 4, Toy Story 2. At number 3, The Incredibles. At number 2, Monsters Incorporated. And at number 1, Ratatouille. Where do we want to start the voting?
1.
No.
We're not starting there. Alex, where do you think we should start the voting?
I would say let's just, let's give Nick and TJ, let's throw them a bone and let's go at number 5 so that they can see it go up just a few times.
All right.
Okay, so we'll start the ranking with Toy Story. So by show of hands up,
Toy Story.
number 5, right here.
Oh no, it should go lower than Toy Story.
So, by show of hands, who thinks this is a better film than the original Toy Story? All the hands stay up. Who thinks this is a better film than Toy Story 2? All the hands stay up. Who thinks this is a better film than The Incredibles? Alex's hand goes down. Everyone else's hand stays up. Who thinks this is better than Monsters Incorporated? Everyone's hand stays up. Who thinks this is better?
About to get fucking crushed.
This is a lie. No.
Yeah.
No.
Who thinks this is better
I do not
than
agree.
Disney Pixar's Ratatouille?
Yes!
No!
Yes!
No!
No.
Freedom!
As it stands, this is my number 1 film on my personal list. That will change before the end of this series.
100%.
I say that now, but right now, as it stands, WALL-E is the number 1 rated film on the YYZ video list of Pixar animated features.
Y'all still
That should be
fucking
number
suck,
8.
but Mitch, you suck
It
a
should
little
be-
less.
What do you mean?
No, because Finding Nemo should be up on
You
the
fucked
higher
me
on the
with
list.
Gabriel.
Gabriel sucks, okay?
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of YYZ Video.
This is
This is what it feels like to be TJ.
If you enjoyed what you just heard, be sure to check out Press YYZ wherever you can: Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, podcast services all around the globe, and of course, the rest of the crew is on social media. Various links will be in the description of this video /podcast / however you choose to consume our stuff. And as always, until next time, we'll see you at the movies.
Fucking final. Y'all have good takes, except for Peter Gabriel.
Freedom.